right, cool. We're on. All right.
Intro everybody there, Flav.
Yeah, so we got Raul, who hails from Hydra. And our
They
friend
have good dental. I can't help it.
They got good dental. Hey yo, I'll switch for that.
Exactly.
Good
It's successful.
Good 401k.
Good 401k. Exactly.
Friend of a guest of ours, Joey. And then what's the geek show that you have going on?
Oh, mine?
Yeah, promote that.
Oh, Super Geeks. We're basically talk about like Marvel movies and
Nice.
Star Trek
like Marvel
TV
movies.
shows and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I might have to come on sometime. Might have to come on. I've got to.
I would love for you to come on, Flav.
I was watching about 4 or 5 Star Trek shows all at once, kind of bouncing back and
How you
forth.
do that?
Which one was your favorite, Flavius?
That's a great question. You know, TOS, the original series, has been my favorite for a while because I love Captain Kirk's swag, and I love like the music and the 60s.
The 60s vibe.
I love the 60s.
It's got nothing on Voyager.
50s, 60s psychedelic feel. I got into Voyager a little bit. I was a little bit bored with Voyager. I'm not gonna lie.
Voyager was the latest, or was it just Star Trek before?
Yeah, Voyager came around in the 90s. Yeah, Voyager came around in the 90s. It's funny. There's a character named Tuvok. And I was like looking at the timeline. I'm like, yo, that's when Tupac was popping. I wonder if that's where they got the idea.
I wonder if they did that. But that guy, Tim Russ, is a great guy. He's a smart actor, and he so supports the fans. So I love him to death. The Tuvok actor.
And then,
I just
of course,
have a problem
Next Generation.
with boring and Voyager being put in the same sentence.
And my bad. I'm just saying how I feel, but trust me, I'm still giving it. I'm still giving it a shot. What happens is like I watch these episodes, and I don't know. Sometimes like I find myself on Facebook, or I find myself like not always finishing them, or some of the episodes run into each other.
Stop.
That being said, I'm still giving it a shot. I'm just telling you my initial.
You should. It gets better. It gets better as it gets further in series.
Yeah, I'm just telling you my initial reaction. I think the Next Generation is probably number 2 after the original series.
I like the Next Generation.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love Captain Picard.
Captain Picard is awesome.
We got into a whole conversation where I actually. Well, first of all, let me introduce everyone. We got Vash. We got Vash, aka Vash Gordon, aka Vash Tracy. What's another aka? What do you use?
There's this anime called Vash Stampede.
Facts. Yep. That's a five. I'll be looking at it.
Wait, what's it called? What's it called?
Vash the Stampede.
Oh, I've heard of that. Heard of that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think you was a slave. I think you put me onto that.
I did.
Ago.
I think I did.
Yeah.
I did.
You should at least have like a shirt or something from the anime. That would be.
It was
cool.
a dope anime.
It was.
Are there any vampires? Are there any vampires in that one?
I was trying to come out with my own little logo.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Word. That's what's up.
Yeah, I was trying to do my own thing. I don't really got much money, but I was trying to invest in those something. Getting something going on with me.
Yeah.
Well, and last but not least, we have KD Language. The mysterious KD.
Oh, just a couple of things. One thing about Vash, musician extraordinaire. Best rapper coming out of Flatbush.
What?
Also some reggae things going on, and a little bit of singing as well.
Right.
We were roommates.
It's good to be versatile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then of course KD, thespian / rapper / storyteller.
Actor.
An actor, yeah.
What's a thespian?
An actor.
It's an actor. It's an actor. It's like an old term for an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like to mess with people who don't keep their terms 21st century.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. I used to be like that.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me today in a conversation, they're like, "Ish, I'm so spent," and I'm like, "That's what we're doing."
That's what we're doing.
We're going with spent. Like that's what we're going with, huh? Like she's like, "What do you mean?" It means I'm tired. I'm like, "Yeah, if you're Leave It to Beaver, it means you're tired." You know what I mean? Like if you're Dennis the Menace, you're tired. You know?
That's funny that you said that because Ish. That's funny you said that because I was gonna say spent feels like maybe like a maybe like a 2000 term or something.
I was gonna see 90s, man. I'm not even that
Yeah,
guy.
I was gonna say 90s. Yeah, honestly, I was gonna say 90s.
No, I was
2000.
really thinking like, gee, Mrs. Crabtree, I'm really spent right now. Like, you know,
Oh, I get you.
like
Yeah.
Timmy, go get Lassie. Mom, I'm spent.
You know what's funny?
How did Lassie know where the hole was every single time?
Right, like every time.
Yo, you know what's funny with that spent? When I think spent, I actually think drug culture a little bit, like 90s, like late 90s. Like I'm spent, like I'm bent, I'm spent, like, you know, like.
Yeah,
it's even though it's older than that. It's more dated.
No, but I'm saying like it came back. Like you were making fun of her for a 50s term, but it had already come back. You know what I mean? It would be like
everything makes its way back, right?
Yeah,
that's a whole fact.
All the classics come back, and
it would be like.
But we don't have to let it.
No,
we don't.
It would be like making fun of someone for saying dope,
not really a
as if it was an 80s thing, but dope's already been back.
You know, somebody said on a Facebook post, she was talking about, you know, something foolish that she had done. And she was trying to say pretty much, oh my God, I'm so stupid. But she said, I'm such a tart. And that's all I saw. And I responded, I'm like, tart? Like, that's what we're doing? Like, tart? Yeah. Like in 21st century America, we're calling ourselves tarts. Like, let's not bring this back. You know what I mean?
Let's not do that.
I remember when I said tad bit, niggas like, what the fuck is a tad bit, bro? You know what tad bit mean, bro?
Yeah, that's what you might not hear in Flatbush too much.
Or cad. Act like a cad, boy.
As someone who likes to say that I'm well read, when I was young, I used to speak a certain way, and I realized that I just came off as pretentious, right?
Yeah,
because I'd be using.
Pretentious is like someone who just like uses big words to try to sound smarter than other people.
Right, like I realized that, like I'd use my hands.
You know what words mean.
Yeah, exactly.
I talk with my hands, and I remember being in the workplace, and I have a friend of mine who has, he has just a very strong vocabulary, and he'd ask me, very close friend of mine, a brother actually, and he'd say to me, Ish, he goes, why do people find it hard to have conversations with me and are turned off by me? And I said, because you don't know how to tone yourself down. And it's not a bad thing that you have a high vocabulary, but when you're 30 and you're speaking to some 21-year-old nurse or what have you, and you don't say shark, you say like diplodoclicon or something like that. Like, Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you got a code switch. Like, you have to understand the audience. You know what I mean? And cater to that audience. And
read your audience. Yep.
Right. If you don't, like, then you come off a certain way.
However, I gotta say that being Hispanic, I always talk with my hands. I can't help it. It's just a thing I've learned from my family. Like this, and below the camera, I'm waving my hands like this, like a fool.
See, for me, as the black person growing up, and I spoke with my hands, people would look at me like, "Who do you think you are?" Like literally, they'd be like, "Yo, who do you think you are, bro?" And I'm like, "Oh, my bad." Like, I in retrospect, when I look at it, I'm like, "Man, I really came off a certain way that I wasn't trying to, but I could understand people saw me that way."
Sure.
What were you saying, Ish? Vash, I mean.
But a lot of people they wouldn't consider themselves politicians, right? But they listen to the politics because they find it necessary and maybe conducive to their well-being within the community and stuff like that. But the type of politicians speak, a lot of them don't really know what they're saying because they use them big words and shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. Basically, just saying our economy is either fucked up or it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's either good or not. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're basically saying. But a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand the terms that they use. You know what I'm saying? That's how I learned. You gotta listen to words that people use. I be trying to listen. I be trying to learn.
Absolutely. Words are power. I love when people can articulate, but I also
you be voting for shit you don't even know about. You just all you heard
also appreciate and I'm.
You understand what I'm saying? You heard certain things, but you don't really know the true significance of the speech.
Yeah, there's a place for articulation. I love when people can articulate, but I'm also a very big fan of, and I often quote, break it down like I'm 6 as well.
Yep, like Malcolm X says, make it plain. Make it plain.
That's a fact. They be doing that shit on purpose, though, to trick us. They do that shit on purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Guys not heavy as when we should be saying no.
there was a comedian that used to use just big word after big word. I didn't find him funny at all. He was one of the few. He's one of the few right-wing comedians. White guy.
He's nice.
Is it the white guy? From
Wait, I didn't get it.
He is a white guy. He is a white guy. He was big like in the, I want to say he was big like probably in the 90s or so.
He's a white guy. Oh, I see what's going on.
Shit, he was like, what's that guy?
I saw what you did there, Raul. I saw what you did there, bro.
Thank you. I tried, man. I tried.
Perfect timing.
But speaking of Star Trek, with the 5 Star Treks that I was watching back to back, I got into Enterprise. Or no, wait, was Enterprise the one with Scott Bakula?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
the bad one.
I got into that. That had some good elements, some bad elements. I don't know if it got better or not. It's
more bad.
Certainly, the kid who plays him when he's a kid, that actor's not great.
No.
The guy who plays his father when he was a kid.
No, there's not a lot of stars on that.
Scott Bakula is not great.
No, yeah, his lines were flat.
So you're telling me that show doesn't get better? That show
does not get better.
No,
and I'll say something
one.
about Star Trek.
Yeah.
The first season of all the Star Treks are usually very bad. I don't know why it is. Okay. It's like a curse. They're always boring. They're always
I beg to differ. I beg to differ.
Which one?
Discovery and Voyager.
Discovery wasn't that bad. Voyager I did not like.
No, the first season.
The second season of Discovery is way better, though.
Yeah,
it's way better. It's way better. But it's better than a lot of Star Trek series. Like the second, listen, Philippa Georgiou is one of the greatest characters introduced in the Star Trek universe, in my opinion.
Is that the main character?
That's Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah. Oh, yes, she's great. She's great. Yeah, she's great.
She's great. She's a powerhouse.
That whole thing they did with that future suit, that was pretty bad.
That was amazing. Interesting.
That was like,
and I don't like time travel stuff too much because it gets too confusing to me.
Yeah. But the way I was thinking about that shit, just I hate that time travel shit, bro.
But that was not bad. The one they used in Discovery.
The Star Trek one, I'll accept that one.
Yeah.
But my favorite Star Trek happens to be DS9 with my favorite captain on it, Cisco.
People love DS9. I don't appreciate it enough.
Yo, Cisco, my favorite. My favorite. I mean, I'm not through the whole thing yet, but that's another one that I delved into. But one of my favorite moments is he's dealing with Q, who's like intergalactic asshole. Speaking of pretentious,
super god.
He was great.
He's dealing with Q, and he punches Q in the face, and Q looks at him and says, Picard never would have punched me, and he says, I'm not Picard.
Oh,
in my mind, he's like, I'm not Picard, motherfucker.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
He was great. Janeway would have punched him.
Janeway would have punched him too.
Wait,
I think she did. She slapped once. Janeway is the captain of Voyager.
Oh, Voyager, right. Yep.
The most brilliant captain ever in Starfleet.
She's great.
Yeah, she was.
She's great.
That's arguable. It's obviously arguable.
It's arguable. Everybody has their favorite captains, man. It's like nerd war when you talk about that.
Right.
Raul, hopefully we can talk about this when I'm on your show, but I ran into the Ferengi problem. Now, we talked about this on the show before.
Hold on, Flav, because that's a deep subject, and I want you to get into it. I just wanted to make a point so that.
No, he muted himself.
Oh, yeah, she muted.
I'm sorry.
herself.
My phone rang. I want to make a point real quick so that I don't make it after and take away from what, because that's a deep subject. I just wanted to say real quick.
Give him a second. Give him a second.
Got ring again. He's blowing up.
Yo, Raul, so where you stationed at?
It's my opinion that
I'm in Arizona. I'm in southern Arizona, Vash.
Nice.
I'm sorry. It's beautiful out here, but man, the racists are real. They're real out here.
Yeah.
Sin. We were just talking about Arizona today.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
What were you saying, Ish?
Ish,
I
go
just
ahead.
wanted to say that it's just my opinion that of all the Starfleet captains, because I grew up with Picard as my favorite, and the
Okay.
only reason, the only thing that made me roll with Janeway was, Voyager put Janeway was morally compromised, more so in my opinion than any other captain, and she actually made decisions that were like, the Tuvix situation, where she probably was wrong for choosing what she chose to do with Tuvix, but yet she did it anyway, specifically because she was being selfish. She just wanted her friend back. And
Right.
you find several situations where she's morally compromised, and sometimes she just doesn't do what the good guy is supposed to do.
You find that
She's definitely one of the
or...
she's one of the smartest captains. I'll give you that. The way she plans things out with limited resources was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So the issue,
And the sacrifices she was willing to make as well.
Absolutely.
So the issue that I found, like, for a while, I don't know if you would say for years or for half of a year, but I ran into this Ferengi problem, and I just was always like, oh, which Star Trek is that? Are the Ferengis on that? Oh, okay. And I just had this thing about the Ferengis I just didn't like. So now, as I'm delving into DS9, and there's Ferengis like on every episode, and then as I dipped back into the Next Generation, and there's Ferengis there, it finally hit me. Oh shit, they've got anti-Semitic, some anti-Semitic
feelings.
tropes
I got
going.
you.
And then I read about it, and I wasn't, just making this stuff up. That there's been stuff written about the whole way that the Ferengis are depicted. But we could go on, ad
nauseum. Yeah, you should bring it up when I get you on my show.
Cool. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, I'd like to come on and talk comics with you if
Ish, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I would love that. Yeah.
Gosh, it's funny you brought up Taekwondo. We actually had a whole episode on martial arts last night.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah. I want to join. I would like to learn.
I like to get back into martial arts too. I took Taekwondo when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I think I'd like to maybe get into jiu-jitsu or something that might have, like, some of the ground game too, because that just seems like
if you could get into a Brazilian jiu-jitsu class, I would do it, Flav.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I always recommend people who have an interest in martial arts for practical application to look for a good MMA school. And the reason why I say that is because a good MMA school is going to teach you what you want to learn, like jiu-jitsu. It'll be available. Muay Thai striking will be available.
Yeah, one of my brothers out here is an MMA fighter.
Okay.
Yeah, I got him on my Facebook. He comes to my crib sometimes. Shit.
A good MMA school is going to have a solid jiu-jitsu course.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, they'll offer other courses, but you could just, like the MMA school I went to, you could train MMA if you wanted to, or you could literally train gi jiu-jitsu, meaning
So
you could,
MMA is mixed?
Yeah, MMA is mixed martial arts. They tried.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, mixed martial arts. Okay.
Yeah,
martial
mixed martial arts.
I got it.
They say that Bruce Lee is kind of like the father, like the godfather of mixed martial arts in some ways.
Spiritually, not actually.
I think that would be spiritual. Probably spiritually is a better way to put it. Yeah.
Hey yo, but you know what though? You know what's crazy to me, bro? When we watch movies, we see them. I know it's orchestrated. I know it's like dancing. It's like dancing once you,
Sure.
You know what I mean? Which is the movie you're making it. It's like
choreographed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying it's not far-fetched that you could actually do those moves and make it look like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, like, I programmed myself to do some of those moves. The same day I programmed myself to do some of those moves, I ended up having to do some of those moves, and I did it like swiftly, like perfect, like I was doing it for years. You feel me, son? So I know. So how come when these guys, when they fighting in these MMA fights, how come they don't look like what it looked like in the TV? You feel me? What's up?
Well, there's a few things. I mean, I probably let the experts talk, but there's a few things like a real fight is. You've been in fights. You know, a real fight is tiring as hell. Like all that stuff they're doing in the movies, like
It is.
you'd be like
It's
mad.
orchestrated.
Like yeah, a real fight's gonna end probably like in a few minutes, and then most of these fights end up on the ground. All that stuff you're
Right.
seeing in a martial arts movie, they don't end up on the ground like that. So they're just not really realistic like that.
That's
They
what
look cool.
I'm saying, like, because it's crazy. I have yet to watch one of those fights and see one of them dudes step in there and bounce one or two times and fling a nice straight kick that looked like some shit that Ryu would do. You feel me, son?
Yeah.
Yeah, but even when you watch martial arts competitions with people that practice traditional forms, it doesn't look like what you see on film, right? Because again, like Flavius Maximus says, one, you know, your opponent isn't going to be choreographed, right? You're not choreographing a fight. You're actually having a fight. And there's so many different dynamics to that you just can't account for, right?
Hey, yo, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Not to cut you, you said Corey. You said you're not what choreographing.
Choreographing, right?
All right. So to me, I do choreograph. Let me give you an example, right? Like a couple weeks ago, this dude punched me in the face. Dude bigger than me. I don't even know why he hit me. I'm saying, I guess he's overprotective of his girl and stuff. It wasn't even me that went to go see her. It was the guy that I was with, some Indian dude that I was with. And we was like, we just came to see Shorty. We don't know Shorty to have a boyfriend. I'm saying, but we just said we came to see Shorty, and the son punched me in the face. But when we came outside and was scrapping, like I premeditated I orchestrated it in my head already. And exactly what I said I was going to do, I did it. I've been watching it in TV. I've been watching a movie. I always wanted to do a drum punch. And I actually did my drum punch, and it came out perfect. And I almost knocked this nigga out with that drum punch, bro. I jumped in it, and I kicked my leg back with a dude with a punch. Boom! He said, yo, OG grab. He said, yo, young brother, you gonna kill this thing. It's a little bigger than me too, you know. I ain't wanna fight you. I ain't pull a knife on me till I drum punch that nigga, bro. That shit worked.
Now imagine the same scenario with somebody who also has a particular skill set and is visualizing, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Oh, I would have been dead.
Something,
you know, dead.
It changes the dynamics, right? I mean, no, say you were equally as skilled or as proficient in a thing, and so was your opponent, right? And they're applying the same.
It looked like one of those MMA fights, right?
Right, because now you have a bunch of different dynamics that you can't account for.
Also, how long did the fight last? Do you remember?
Well, me, it probably like a minute or two, because after I drum punched him.
Oh, see?
Yeah, after I drum punched him, nigga was slipping like he was on banana pills, grabbing for shit that wasn't there. And then I ran up on him again, and I just threw a regular punch on him. I hit him. He did the same shit, was grabbing for shit that wasn't there. And then OG grabbed me, and someone was standing right there. OG grabbed me, was like telling me to chill. Then I was like, all right, I'm gonna chill. And then I jumped on him again and snuffed him again and knocked him out the last time.
Yeah, see, that's more realistic than the movies.
You caught him because he didn't know what you was gonna do.
You know what I'm saying? And he could have killed me in the building.
When you doing film, you know when you doing film,
what
you know
do?
what the other person gonna do.
But even like
See,
when I think of a choreography,
he said that, he's right, because when I figured the drum punch, I got away with that. But I was like it was hard for me to figure something else. That's why I just said, let me go regular punch.
Yeah.
Right.
But see, in a movie, it's like choreographed, like
back.
it's like
You know
like,
exactly what that other
it's a
person
ridiculous amount of choreography.
Yeah.
So what you thought of choreography was basically one or two moves to get to your point, right? So you call it choreography, but you really probably did a combination or just a few moves. But in the movies, it's ridiculous. It's like 5 minutes of like this and that.
Yeah, make you keep watching, make you want to keep watching.
Yeah.
Right.
I also like to say that the minute you get punched, all your plans go out the window. Usually,
They go out the window.
So and like that's the first thing they taught me in boxing. Like the first thing they did is hit me until I was next to dead on the floor. And I said, "Why'd you do that?" He goes, "I wanted to see how you'd react."
Yeah,
because everything's reaction once you get hit.
Yeah, because after son hit me, see, I'm so used to getting hit. like I'm talking about my brothers. Like I never got hit in a real fight. Like the amount of fights I never really got. And thank God for that, you son. But when son hit me, my first time ever being hit in my face like that, I felt like I was used to it already. Cause my brothers, they break my nose, my face already, all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? So
oh shit.
I fronted to him like he was like I was hurt. Like I grabbed my face like a lady that just got her purse robbed. Like oh. And then like, cause I didn't want him to hit me and then go back in his crib and then lock the door on me. So I act like I was hurt, like, oh. And then I said, oh, you still standing there? I said, Lam. I launched on that dude, son. I dropped him in his crib. You know what I'm saying? And then he ran for a knife. I heard him and his girl fighting in the background, trying to come and get me. I'm standing in the hallway like an idiot. I didn't see the man in the knife with it, and his knife in his hand. Every time he opened the door, the girl would slam it back. He opened it, the girl slammed it back. I realized that, yo, why am I standing here? Nigga about to kill me. Get out of here, bro. And I got out of there. And as soon as I started going down the stairs, he started coming down the stairs. And I was like, yo, just walk down the stairs, Vash. Because I felt like if I felt like, yo, he come in with a knife, I felt like I'd have did the white girl thing. And I'd have tripped down the stairs and he would have been on top of me. So I walked down the stairs. I was like, don't run, Vash. Just walk. And I made it out the building like that. You know what I'm saying? And he came behind me, tried to rush me. And as soon as I turned around, got in my stance, I said, drum punch, Vash. I drum punched him. I think it was grabbing for shit that wasn't there.
I'll tell you the truth, man. No girl is worth it, man. No girl is worth it.
Yeah, it wasn't me though. You feel me? And
I know.
I was happy. Yeah, I was happy to see Homeboy because Homeboy robbed me. That Indian kid robbed me, and I ain't seen till that time I seen him was months prior to him robbing me. You know what I'm saying? But when he robbed me, the night he robbed me, I did something to him. You know what I'm saying? Like I did something to him. Like I did something. I don't know if I should say right now, but I did something to him, and I tie him up and I beat him on stuff like that and stuff like that.
Anyway, he said it anyway.
The main part. I didn't say the main part. I said I tie him and beat him. I didn't say the main part. You know what I'm saying, but I did that to him, and I was very apologetic to him every time. Like the night I ran into him, I was he said, "Yo, you gotta keep apologizing to me." I say, honestly, I deserved it because I was the one that robbed you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I was just so happy to see him, hugging him. I was like, yo, let's go get some drinks. He's like, let's go to Shorty's crib. I was like, word? You could go to her crib? He's like, yeah, let's go to her crib. And so I was like, all right, let's go. I went with him to her house. I knocked on the door, and Homeboy was like, yo, this is my crib. And I was like, yeah, I know. I said, I don't know. But I looked at my friend, and I was like, I don't know. And I turned my friend, look at my friend. That's when he punched me in the face.
And now we know why we call him Vash Gordon. He lives that life.
Oh, man,
it's exciting or dangerous or both.
I feel like we need Queen to be playing in the background. Like Vash.
Honestly, I always wanted to do a track with Vash where we sampled that song and just did turn it into Vash Gordon, like real.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Vash.
Now.
Public Enemy sampled it, right? Terminator X.
Oh, yeah. Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, what song? What song is that?
They sampled Queen. He starts off with Flash. It's the intro on "It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back," the album. Okay. The intro where they just go Flash.
Yo, I heard some dudes was looking for me behind that, right? So I'm thinking they looking to hurt me, right? So I went back in the same area like a few days later, and I seen like two of the dudes, and they was like, "Yo, let me talk to you for a second." I was like, "What's up?" He was like, yo, you was that dude that was fighting, son? I was like, yeah. He was like, yo. He said, I don't know. He was like, yo, I don't know you, but I know people that know you, and niggas, like, they tell me, like, you don't fuck with nobody and shit like that. That was wrong for son hitting you and shit like that. Like, we got on that nigga for hitting you, my nigga. I was like, you appreciate that. You know what I'm
saying? That's good. That's good.
I don't bother nobody, man.
Yeah, so careful out there in the world, man. Yeah, be careful out there, man. We got under 4 minutes, so if anyone wants to keep that in mind while wrapping up.
So for I guess the Raul and for Vash, what that means is the video will cut off in about 4 minutes, and we'll just send out another link.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go to sleep after this because I've been up since 7.
Oh, okay.
And then sure you just got back in and stuff and like that. I lost my keys and I had to wait for my landlord to pull up on me. I just got in probably an hour ago when y'all called me.
All right, we'll reconnect on the next one.
Y'all appreciate y'all.
Yeah, but thanks for jumping in. Yeah, thanks everybody for being available too.
All right, be safe.
Yep, we still got a few minutes too. So.
Okay, I'm gonna cut off now.
Oh, you're gonna cut off? All right, man. All right, peace.
All right, man. Have a good one, bro.
All right,
good luck, guys.
Yes, sir.
Vash Gordon is going to be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Go.
I see it already. I see it already. Number one hit.
Vash. Go.
Every
Yeah,
time
that's my brother. We did a lot of music.
On camera, it was like live on site.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was live. So let me tell you, there was a story, right? I tried to tell this in less than 2.5 minutes. So I'm at the airport. I think it's like JFK Airport. This sister that's working there, she's kind of like looking at me for a second, and she says, "Do I know you?" And I'm like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, and she didn't really look familiar. And she was like, "Do you live in Brooklyn?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Do you live in Flatbush?" I'm like, "Okay." Now it's starting to sound like she might know me. Yeah.
Right.
And then she's like, describes like where I live, like East 21st, East 21st and Peyton. And she's like, "Your friends are crazy. They're the ones that are always like out in front of the building, like fighting and like arguing and shit like that." And I'm like, wow. I'm like, it almost felt like being semi-famous, like being recognized in an airport by like my crazy friends. Like that was kind of ill.
That's how you roll, Flav?
Man, Vash has some stories, man.
2020 Maximus.
Yeah, man. But this was back in 2005-ish when I first moved to Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember when I left Buffalo?
I remember when you left.
Yeah. So yeah, this was 2005 to 2007 is, when we lived in Flatbush, and then we kept in contact over the next couple of years. Then we lost contact for like about 8 years or so when we moved to Albany.
Let me find out you was posting up outside of Brownstones, wreaking
Yeah,
havoc.
I never really. I mean, we smoked tons of weed and like did lots of music inside the building, but I let them do the thing on the block. I never posted outside on the block. That was never my thing. We did have one of our white boys save them from the cops though, because one of them lied and said, "Yo, he's a lawyer," and the cop was like looking at him like, "You a lawyer?" And he just like said, "Yeah," and like they got out.
One of our white boys, huh? One of our white boys.
His name wasn't Takashi, was it?
No.
You're not even gonna check your privilege there, huh, Flav?
Hopefully we'll have him on the show. He's not. I don't know. He might be a little.
He ignored you, Ish. He ignored you. Guilty.
He ignored me on that.
Moving right along.
He was like, "Huh, Ish? Who's that?"
I'm just saying. All right, yo. I think this is about to cut off. So